The Association of Master Bakers and Caterers of Nigeria has issued a 2-week ultimatum to the federal government to address the incessant hike in prices of baking materials and high tariff on its members by regulatory agencies. The association is threatening to embark on a nationwide strike unless the federal government looks into their grievances and take urgent steps to address them. National President of the association, Mansour Umar, says the group has approached the Ministry of Labour for intervention but didn't get any favorable response.
If nothing is done, from now to December, we may likely buy a loaf of bread 1,500 naira because the increment is incessant. We cannot even longer plan the price of our products. If you buy whatever you buy now, next week or next week's price will increase. Like what I have told you, the flour, about a 50 kg bag of flour, January this year was 10,200, 10,500, but now it's about 22,000. Sugar then it was 12,000, 11,500, 12,500. Now it's about 23 or 22. We have about 11 to 10 items that we use to produce bread. None of these items increased by not less than 100. So the bakers can no longer bear it.
And it could interest you to note that countries like Senegal, the government cancelled everything about tariff on their wheat importation completely. Countries like Malawi, total cancellation of the wheat tariff on wheat or whatever tax on wheat. Even Niger Republic here, I've gone as far as Niger Republic, go and find out that the president have done similar thing. You can now imagine that a bag of flour will buy for 21,000 naira here. You go to Malawi, buy 12,000 naira equivalent.
All right. And to discuss this story further, we're now being joined by Jude Okafor, who we've just seen in that report there. He is the National Secretary of the Association of Master Bakers and Caterers in Nigeria. Thank you so much, Jude, for being here. And of course, let's look at the fact that just in May of this year, you had increased the price of bread and biscuits. And a few months after now, you're actually threatening another strike and the fact that you have to hike your prices. What are the issues?
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. The issue is very clear. The tariff imposition on wheat, 15% levy on wheat, which was imposed in 2012. Sometime along the line, I think without even our knowledge, it has been jacked up to about 30% by the federal government. That has really placed a heavy burden on the importation of wheat, and which has led to increase in price of flour, which is the major component of the bread making ingredients. Secondly is that we have really been hit hard by multifarious taxation agencies like federal government agencies like NAFDAC, like SON, like NASAL. In the case of NAFDAC, you can understand that NAFDAC have moved from the 10,000 naira registration they started with to about 31,500. And just about a few months ago, they moved it with about 100% to 89,000 something for registration. They introduced what is now known as pack extension. So you cannot actually produce different brands of bread without registering all of them. You register the first one as the one registered, is the other ones.
What do you mean? Registration for different brands of bread, for example?
What I mean is that if you're producing bread that is, because we bring in some marketing strategies to be able to market this bread. So we can call this Bonvita bread, call this Milo bread.
No, coconut bread. We can use other things other than...
Or milk bread, you know. So as soon as you move from that particular name to another one to define it well, even after putting that the product is of this particular company that's registered by NAFDAC, you are now expected to pay what they now refer to as pack extension, which has risen from about 15,000 to now 84,000. Wow. So this is that, and even the late renewal was introduced. If you don't renew in time, and it takes you some time before, because of the situation of the economy, or maybe by way of forgetfulness, you forget to register renew in time, it is now taken from 50,000 to now about 150-something thousand. So these are issues that we're having.
It's really becoming Herculean for you master bakers. But why is the Nigerian baker not looking inward? I remembered during the tenure of former President Goodluck Jonathan, they launched cassava bread, and you have corn bread, and you have what when some of us were growing up then called akpu biscuits. So why are you not having such?
Definitely, which is a program that we actually keyed into, but the first batch of the empowerment program of the federal government around 2014 was all we had. That is even the reason for the introduction of 15% wheat levy in 2012. So after the empowerment program of 2014, by 2016 August, the federal government was supposed to empower 5,000 bakers at the ratio of 6 bakers per local government, at least, in all the federation. But soon after the first one stopped, it was not continued again. And since after then, the levy...
Sorry. Yes. This empowerment, yes, is it to look inwards? Because that is what Nigeria is driving now, so that you can produce this...
To boost local production.
Yeah, local production. We know some states in Nigeria, they produce wheat, so it might not be enough. What kind of ingenuity are master bakers bringing into bread and, confectionery production?
Okay, recently, there was a program on orange-fleshed potato inclusion, which is very, very good in application because it provides you limited application of sugar and reduction in application of milk because the potato contains this. We have done this program in Abuja, in Lagos, and elsewhere, and we've written the federal government to encourage the farmers to farm this potato, because today cassava is very high.
Irish or sweet potato?
Sweet potato.
Yeah, right.
Orange flakes.
Okay, so we like the fact that the master bakers are coming up with innovative ideas to look inwards, because the truth is our wheat production is not as high as we need it, because I know that for last year we only have about 55,000 tons of wheat and we consume way more than that. And I do know that the CBN is coming up with ideas to really tax it so that way we look inwards. But right now you have given an ultimatum to the government. You said come the 23rd of this month, if nothing is done, you will be shutting down all bakeries across the country. So how do we come out of this impasse? What would you like the government to do to avoid the shutdown of the bakeries?
No, what we really want the government to do, because there was a meeting that was held at the Federal Ministry of Trade and Investment where a committee was set up and recommendations were raised that has been sent to the government, asking government to at least reduce the wheat tariff to 10% from the present 30%. Equally, to allow only NAFDAC to regulate bakeries and not even bringing in some, because I didn't mention the aspect of some. The requirement of NAFDAC from us is the same as the requirement of a son from bakers, making us to pay multiple fees for a particular purpose. So son charges us for certification and registration, NAFDAC charges us for the same. And it's the same thing they request us to do. So in that recommendation, we had pleaded with the government to allow NAFDAC to regulate us. And NAFDAC should be made to know that they are a regulatory agency and not a money-making marketing agency, which they have turned into.
That's becoming unbecoming of a lot of the federal government agencies. Just recently, the Minister of Transportation had said that the MASA, the Nigerian Maritime Administration, is not supposed to be making money, but Jude Okafor, we got to thank you. Jude Okafor is the National Secretary of the Masters Bakers Association.
Well, let's hope that this strike doesn't go on, because we need our bread for our breakfast, really.
All right.